Hi everyone, Richard from Digital Foundry here. So in January 2014, I reported that PlayStation 1 and PS2 titles were coming to PlayStation 4 running under emulation, based on reports from trusted sources. Months passed and nothing happened, aside from a couple of indicators that suggested that perhaps something was afoot, specifically some ESRB ratings for old PS2 titles, plus social activity during PS4's firmware 3.0 beta. Well, now it finally seems to be happening. The Star Wars PS4 bundle comes with a bunch of classic Star Wars titles, including 3 PS2 games that are almost certainly running under emulation. So how can we tell that they're emulated and not remastered? Well, the PS4 OS pops up to tell you how the DualShock 4 emulates the start and select buttons on the old pad. Basically, the left and right areas of the touchpad double for those buttons. On top of that, the games kick off with an old school PS2 logo, plus there's a system in place for emulating the old console's memory cards. You can safely say that none of this would be happening if this were a ported title. Sony simply wouldn't allow it. So here we have 3 Star Wars titles from the PS3 era to look at: Bounty Hunter, Racer Revenge, and Jedi Starfighter. You might be thinking that they look a little higher res, a little cleaner than you remember them. And that is indeed the case. Old PS2 titles tended to render at either 512 by 448 or 640 by 448. With a bit of pixel counting magic, we reckon that the emulator is running natively in the region of 1296 by 896 before being upscaled to full 1080p. In essence, that's around a 200% scaling in both directions, or around 4 times the original resolution. So it's not quite native 1080p as we might have hoped, but the improvement is clear to see. You can see in these head-to-head videos that the impact on overall image quality is quite remarkable, with some kind of post-process filter in play to keep the jaggies away. So what else is new? Well, remarkably, Sony appears to have integrated trophy support into the emulation. The firm actually patented the means with which it achieved this a while back. Essentially, it seems that the emulator is studying the system state, looking for a combination of trigger variables to occur in sequence before deploying trophy notification. Impressive stuff. But what's more impressive is that on top of the resolution increase, the improved image quality and the trophy support, games now appear to be running a little more smoothly than they did on the original PS2 hardware. Here we're using a hardware backward compatible PlayStation 3 to grab the footage. The HDMI output makes frame rate analysis a lot simpler. You can see here with Jedi Starfighter that both PS2 and PS4 are running with VSync enabled, only the PS4 emulator is doing a pretty good job of hitting 60 FPS, while the old PS2 original mostly runs at half the frame rate with occasional spikes upwards. We'll need to see what Sony's plans are for the emulator and to what extent other titles see improvement, but we'd certainly like to see a smoother Metal Gear Solid 3 or Gran Turismo 4 with no tearing and a locked 60 FPS. Maybe that's possible, maybe it isn't, but for now this is everything we know about PlayStation 2 emulation on the PS4. If you found the video useful, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. As soon as more PS2 emulated titles pop up on the PS4, you can rest assured that we'll be looking at them in depth. But that's all we have for you right now. Thanks for watching.